Before we get going, I guess since we're both on the screen here, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Chris McCoy. I am the brand spanking new 4-H parent administrator, so please forgive me. And next to me on this call is a lady known just as Sam's mom, but this is Kate Bell, who is a past parent administrator of the 4-H Club and also is a day job here at Bauer School Farm as the farm manager. So we'll both be leading this presentation. My goal is just to talk about the who, the what, and the when of 4-H. Give a real good overview of the club and our cycle for the year, and have plenty of time for question and answers. We're recording this right now, and the goal is I will send out these slides and the video probably tomorrow. And then I know we have several people who said they're interested but weren't able to attend. And so we'll have this posted on our club website and included in our next email to everybody. So again, we'll run through here. If there's a real good question, please stop us in the moment. Better check this chat window just to be sure here.
No, maybe they can't hear us.
We're good now.
Now we're okay.
Okay, so everyone can hear me good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get going here.
Uh-oh.
Press the wrong button right out of the gate. All right. Thumbs up from anybody if you can see my screen again. Perfect. Thank you. Let that happen again. So we're starting out with the most important thing in the club, and that's our youth. The club is a youth-led organization. And so we have a shot here of some of our officers and committee chairs. And so even though we're parents here on the call tonight, our job is really to support the youth as they lead the club. And they're amazing. It's a huge club and this really a dedicated group of youth leaders. We were actually interviewing right before we started the meeting tonight for the next year's officers and committee chairs. And the kids are really amazing. The interviews and just the really well put together things they had to say and how they wanted to help the club was awesome. So at our very first meeting, we'll be announcing the next group of leaders. And we do have some adult adult leaders that you'll see around the farm. So of course, the brand new parent administrator there. And then across the bottom, Kate is here. In addition, like I said, to being a 4-H parent, she's the farm manager here at Bauer School Farm. Alan Jaros in the middle, he is the director not only of the Johnson Nature Center, but also the Bauer School Farm, and one of the original founders of the 4-H Club so many years ago. And then Lisa Mazzola, pictured on the bottom there, she is our Oakland County Extension Coordinator and is also here at the farm quite a bit. So great adult group of support group that we lean on. And then Uncle Sam, we couldn't find a picture of our adults that also volunteer here. So that could be you. You could be an adult volunteer because we need quite a bit of volunteers to make this happen. So that's some of the who. What is 4-H? And really, I guess in a way, 4-H encompasses so many different things. Certainly an agricultural focus at the beginning, but it's really expanded over the years to include so much civics and sciences. When I told my dad that my then 5-year-old son started doing 4-H and it was this great activity and I was telling him all about it, he goes, I did 4-H for 12 years. And I said, I had no idea. And he said he grew up in rural Sanilac County on a farm. And he said, yeah, I learned to do rocketry and debate. So 4-H really is a lot of different things. We do have an agricultural focus here at the Bowers Farm 4-H Club, but very hands-on. 4-H is the largest youth development organization in the state, which is very cool. And then our particular club handles ages 5 all the way to 19. So a very inclusive club.
We're the largest club in Oakland County as well.
Pretty cool.
which means we do need to cap it. So there's only so much room at the farm, but that's why we like to share with folks what 4-H is about. So everybody has a good understanding and a well-rounded opportunity to choose to participate or to say, it's not quite for me, but we're hoping that by sharing this presentation, we can help share a little bit more.
And we've certainly seen, even from the officer candidates we were interviewing just now, truly the kids are developing, the life skills that they're getting from this club. I think maybe 50% of the kids this evening, when we asked them, what could you see yourself doing in the future as a profession? They all had great answers, all much broader answers now because they've been in 4-H. So it's really great. The Bowers Farm 4-H Club, this is our farm specifically, I mentioned was founded actually by Bloomfield Hills high school students now over 20 years ago. And really because there's this unique farm, this operational farm within the Bloomfield Hills School District, we can bring 4-H and these kind of agriculture experiences to suburban families. So we are governed by an elected board of youth officers with a tremendous amount of parent support. And we're overseen by not only Michigan State University, but their local extension office in Oakland County. And we are made up of kids from all different school districts and communities. Obviously, a lot of students from the Bloomfield Hills school districts, but we have private school in Birmingham and all sorts of members that come from all over. And sometimes it's a little bit confusing because our 4-H club has the word Bowers Farm in the name, and that's just the name we've had for over 20 years. So I made this little chart here, and hopefully you'll follow it with me. But the U.S. Department of Agriculture is the body that originally came up with the 4-H program and the curriculum, and in each state they've chosen a different organization to administer the funding that comes with that and the curriculum. So it's Michigan State University in the state of Michigan that does that for the USDA. We have this local extension office in Pontiac that is our direct connection to the Michigan State University Extension. And so we kind of are organized under them, the Bowers Farm 4-H Club. Again, we happen to have this very special, unique relationship with the Bowers School Farm, which is part of the Bloomfield Hills School District, but we are two separate entities. Because all of our activities take place within the district, we do follow a lot of their policies, which are, of course, great policies to do with volunteering and student safety. But sometimes that does get a little bit confusing in that we're a club with a similar name that operates on the property. So I just thought I would point that out. And I threw FFA, Future Farmers of America, on the bottom there just to, you may have heard that term or met some of those club members. But the Bloomfield Hills School District, they do have a chapter of the FFA, separate, but again, sort of all happening on the same farm and related. Did I cover that?
Perfectly.
Okay.
And several kids float between both organizations, but FFA is limited to high school students who are enrolled in Bloomfield Hills schools and taking classes that are at the farm. So once you get to high school, that's an opportunity if you're in Bloomfield Hills schools. Highly recommend it. But you can be dual enrolled. So you'll see kids around the farm who are both 4-H and FFA.
All right.
We work together.
So now we start talking about sort of the cycle of the year in the 4-H club. And the big thing for the club is our monthly all club meetings. So these are happening on Thursdays this year. Again, once a month, we meet at the Bowers School Farm, trying to be outside as much as we can and weather permits. We have the giant tent in the parking lot. We have, of course, access to the academy when the weather's not so great. But this is the big, 10 times a year meeting that the 4-H club has. It's kind of split out into a business portion of the meeting. So our officers, it's great education for not only them, but everybody. They use parliamentary procedures to make decisions and plan the club's activities. But the bulk of the meeting is spent in breakout activities where club members are moving around the farm to different stations, learning about really anything, care of animals, agriculture.
Site tours, like there's something at each meeting that the youth leadership team has brainstormed and come up with a plan, gain the resources they need to implement the activity and really drive it. It's really following the theme of the month and whatever the kids are truly curious about.
We do our best to bring in guest speakers, experts in the field, even parents who have something to share. And I had a couple examples there in this past year. We had a veterinary technician come. It was a meeting that featured poultry. We were concentrating on chickens, and she helped or demonstrated for the youth. I think she did a blood draw. She took a fecal sample and did a mouth swab, and then the kids in that particular breakout session were able to look at each one of those under a microscope and talk about what they were seeing there, and it was geared towards keeping the animals well and healthy. We had a farrier come, not only demonstrate the process of trimming horse hooves, but he explained it, he took questions, and I certainly learned a lot. And we even had a parent, a very modest hobby beekeeper, do a presentation on pollination and brought a hive into the classroom so everyone could see the bees doing their thing. And again, that just kind of goes on with whatever the theme of the meeting is that month. There's a lot of resources out there in the community. We bring them in for the kids. And of course, arts and crafts, a lot of animal care and orientation. How do we care for the various animals that are on the farm, clean up after them, feed them, what to look for when they're not well. And then the last couple of years, we've started to incorporate a lot more about crops and planting, and I'm sure that will continue in the future. So the big hour and a half to 2 hour meeting once a month at the club.
At the farm.
Okay. And then outside of those meetings, club members spend a lot of time at the farm, volunteering their time, learning. And these are just some of the ways that we have available. Another big thing is weekly chores. So we have 3 different opportunities every week for club members to come. Yes, they're doing chores on the farm, but they're learning so much about hard work and keeping everything clean and the animals healthy. So Wednesdays and Thursdays after school, around 4 o'clock, and then Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. right now. So there's a time, a day and a time that works for everybody. If seasonally, you have something during the week, but you're available on the weekend, or vice versa. 3 great opportunities. There's opportunities in the farm's 3 or 4 acre production garden, cyclical throughout the year. So getting things ready to plant, and then working in the hoop house, weeding, and then of course, harvesting. So that's something new that we've offered for club members. The Bower School Farm runs an open barn this year on Fridays and Saturdays. So awesome opportunity for 4-H members to come in and interact with the community, share everything they've been learning. A lot of our 4-H members learned about participating in 4-H by attending things like open barn or the summer camps here. So 4-H members participating in those events, is really great.
Introduction
to 4-H. Yep. And then Bower School Farm has a lot of special events that we volunteer at. Earth Day and Fall Fest, Winter Park, Farm After 5. These are all opportunities for 4-H to be present, working with the community, and being tour guides, enabling the different activities to happen. Some crazy number of volunteer hours every year that 4-H.
I totaled it up last week. It was like 5,300 and something number of hours across the community caring for or participating in events at the site, which is just amazing. And we're so grateful at the farm to have the 4-H club and the FFA students participate. So it's a pretty good number.
Yeah. And we'll talk more towards the end that this is not limited to youth too. There's plenty for parents to do at the farm. Plenty. And then I have a couple of our other big events just to highlight. The Oakland County Fair, which I have the dates for this coming year on. It truly is the highlight of the 4-H year. It's sort of at the end of our calendar year. It's a chance for youth in various ways to demonstrate, all they've learned during this year, whether it's with animals or creative projects. We specifically have opportunities for FFA and 4-H members to lease animals from the farm that they would raise, care for, learn to show, and then show and market at the fair. So that while it's available to second year members who have enough hours, that's something that's there. But there's at-home projects that any club member can do, raising chickens, other poultry breeds, rabbits, right in your own garage or backyard. And then not limited to just youth, but youth and adults can enter. Really, there's no limit to what you can enter in what they call Ellis Barns. So a chance to, to demonstrate all sorts of photography, fashion, woodwork, Legos, research projects,
Anything.
literally everything. So,
Parents too.
and anyone who exhibits, whether it's in Ellis Barn or with an animal, is welcome to camp at the fairgrounds for the week. So that's an awesome experience. We have a couple pictures. The bottom right there is one of the groups at the campsite this year. And then we always make sure that everyone in the club can come to our all club potluck. So even if you're not participating in one of these specific ways at the fair, there's a date where the whole club can go out in July and be together and
have some fun.
Yeah, eat some good food. So county fair is one of the big ones. Don't want to get too involved in the animal lease opportunities, but this is so unique. Again, if we were a 4-H club in another part of Oakland County, maybe a little to the north, we likely would live on some acreage and have the ability to raise livestock in our own backyard. And we would join a 4-H club, certainly for continued education and that kind of thing, but we wouldn't be dependent on something like Bauer School Farm to actually house our animals, because we live where we live and we don't have the opportunity legally to raise livestock in our backyards. We have this special relationship with the school district through the farm where it's possible to lease an animal after you've met certain criteria. And in fact, this past year, we had 16 different club members lease 19 different animals and show and market them at the fair. So something truly unique, probably in the whole state, for sure in our county. But that's something that's available as you progress on as a club member. And it's something that we start talking about in January. There's an interview and application process, and then come April through the start of fair is a significant time commitment. But again, this is a very unique opportunity for club members. For club members who are either brand new or don't have the time commitment to lease from the district, from the farm, we do have something called the Progress Showdown, which is also a cumulative activity where club members pair with an older club member who is leasing, learns about that particular animal and its care and training and showmanship. And we actually put on our own fun Progress Showdown right under the big tent in the parking lot here at the farm. And we had several students, club members participate in that this year. And it's just an awesome opportunity, again, to share with the community how much we've learned throughout the year with showmanship. If you haven't seen this, I certainly recommend it. In the slides we'll be sending out, we have 2 links at the top here. Won't play them now, but contain the district actually was able to make a short clip video of each year. So it's a pretty cool to see that. Anything else you want to say about the showdown?
It's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. And there's a hog roast that happens in the parking lot overnight. And the next day we follow the showdown with a community meal. It's a fundraiser per plate that the kids are able to raise those little extra funds to help get them all the way to the fairgrounds.
Again, this would be one of these activities that, culminates at the end of the year. Members have spent the whole year working on this, and
it's a big celebration.
Awesome.
So much fun. And it layers into the 4-H philosophy of yourself, your community, your world. And first you focus on yourself and these growth opportunities, but you have a community to support you. And then you go a little bit bigger at the county. And then there's sometimes opportunities to go to the state. It just depends on the year, who's interested, what leadership's available. And really it's a lot of amazing growth opportunities for kids of all interest levels.
Cool. Okay, so I think we've covered quickly what the club is and some of our big activities and meetings and that kind of thing. In terms of becoming a member, we do have again, it's a space limited club. So we do have some expectations for members, and I've tried to lay these out here. But every year you have to enroll or re-enroll if you're a returning member by October 31st. So that is a key date for this year if you're thinking about joining the club. It's a date given to us by 4-H where we have to freeze our membership. So that is a hard deadline. And members are asked to, as much as they can, attend the club meetings. They're generally on the third Thursday of the month. And we have already know those dates for the year, so you're able to check your calendar against those. To participate in the volunteer opportunities that come up, and we've talked about some of those. Weekly chores, open barn. Again, this is a 93-acre operational farm that the club is associated with. So there's all sorts of things that come up and opportunities, you know, to paint a wall or, you know, put together a fence, or I mean, literally anything. So there's constant opportunities. We ask that all members do the best they can to log 50 hours of participation during the club year. So that'll start September 1st and go through the following August. And while that may seem like a lot, pretty much any engagement or opportunity you'd have at the farm here is around a minimum of 2 hours. So just attending the 10 monthly meetings and chores with some frequency, you'll find that 50 hours comes and goes pretty quickly. And then, of course, just keep up to date with what's happening with the club, either on our website or emails. And a good policy, but one we do follow because of our association with the school district, is we do ask that at least one parent or guardian be present during an activity if their youth member is under the age of 16. So it's a polite way of saying it's not a drop-off activity, but it is a district policy, so we do enforce that. Specifically about enrollment by October 31st, that also happens in a few different ways. And even for returning members, these steps can sometimes be confusing, but we have an enrollment form that's available now. All right, so when I send out the recording in the slide deck, I'll have the enrollment form linked there. But this will allow you to register your family, expressing interest that you want to be part of the club, and it's the first step. All right, and once we get past that October 31st deadline, we'll kind of adjust our mailing list, and it'll be only people who have enrolled for the current year. We have Bowers Farm 4-H Club dues. We actually had a generous donation in this previous year. So we're actually talking about not having club dues this year, but you'd pay the club dues. And then around mid-September, the 4-H National Online Enrollment System will open. And this is a system where your family would get registered. You'll select Bowers Farm as being the 4-H club that you want to participate in. And this is sort of the official way you get registered with us. And again, I wish it was available today, but it's not till mid-September. So again, you'll fill out that enrollment form first. And then as soon as we see that the national 4-H Online website is ready for the year, we'll let you know about that. And then the last part about that is a Bowers School Farm Agricultural Club fee. And the way I would describe this is, again, when I talked about, you know, us not individually living on farms and not having the availability to have livestock and different things in our own backyard, this unique relationship with the Bowers School Farm and the district really allows us to do something that wouldn't be possible otherwise. And there is a cost associated for the district to have the 4-H club on site, and them providing content and animals for us. Um, you know, there's a couple different levels that you can participate on, and you'll see when you get to that link and you see it that, it really doesn't, whatever amount of money that we would give in this fee, the cost of operating a district in the middle of Bloomfield Hills is significant. And so every year it's kind of one of those things, can they continue to offer the same depth and breadth of activities? And this is one way that the 4-H club can make sure that this opportunity continues on. And I guess it had been described to me that it's similar to a sports fee. When you join a team, you may have to go out and rent a practice facility or bring in clinicians or experts and that kind of thing. So for a full year's programming commitment, it is a pretty low dollar amount. So I'll be happy to take any questions on that later too, because that is I'm probably not explained very well. But,
Did all right.
all right.
Did all right.
Okay. And I think my last slide here is just about parent participation. So I guess I already said it's not a drop-off activity. Anyone under the age of 16 does need a supervising adult. Michigan State University Extension does have a process they call VSP, which stands for Volunteer Selection Process, but it's a vetting process that parent volunteers would go through. And we do need a properly vetted parent volunteer to be present at all of our activities. So certainly at the all club meetings, we have many parents that come, but in December and Saturday at 9 a.m., it may be difficult to find a parent to be with all the kids who want to do chores. So we do ask that if your son or daughter is going to make the commitment to be in 4-H, you also think about doing the small time commitment to go through that vetting process. It's really just signing up on a website, completing a questionnaire for a background check, and then somebody from the local extension office will actually give you a call and speak to you in person, and which was actually kind of nice. And of course, we always have leadership and event chair roles that come up during the club year. So there really is, whatever your particular interest might be, there's always opportunities to get involved in a big way or a small way. And I think any adult who's participated in 4-H with their youth really does come out learning as much, or if not more, about everything that happens here on the farm. If you'd have asked me 5 years ago, could I, milk a dairy goat, pasteurize the milk, no, I mean, you don't even realize the stuff you're picking up. So, and you can spend the night and roast some pork with us. You see the picture there. It looks like they're having fun. All right. So that was kind of our presentation that we put together. Certainly would be happy to take any questions at this point. Feel free to unmute yourself. And if that's possible. I see you got your hand, there's some hands raised. I don't know how to work this well enough. So if you just feel like you want
What
to.
happens if you hit more? Unmute themselves, click that.
If you just want me to unmute and ask, I can, no problem. I just
perfect.
didn't want to cut anyone off.
Right.
So I have a 6.5-year-old. I'm just kind of trying to figure out if she's really ready for the commitment. And I've talked to some parents, but most of the people I've talked to, their kids have started about the age of 10. So I was just wondering what it looks like for a little one.
Well, a little one or younger one can definitely come to all the meetings. They'll start to become familiar with routines and the patterns. They'll hear the things, they'll experience the farm with an adult, with their parent. It's a family event at that age, truly, and until they're 16, both, like we said, it's not a drop off, but they can learn how to care for something simple, like come to chores and take care of the chickens or the rabbits. We try to break it down. So if a younger youth participant is really curious and wants to learn how 4-H works and agriculture works specifically at Bowers, there's a way. It just really is gauged based on the youth and their interests and how much effort you as a parent would need to put forth. There is that as well, because we lead by example, right? So being here with them, working through the learning together is a really interesting way with the younger age group to do things.
And
Yeah.
sorry, not every 4-H club allows 5 to 7-year-olds, which in 4-H world, they call those clover buds, but our club does. And I think like Kate said, I mean, we do a really good job, our youth leaders do, about making sure the activities that happen at the monthly meetings, they come down to a level that you know, a 5 to 7-year-old is still going to get something good out of the meeting. So.
Yeah. Did that answer your question? Perfect. Thanks.
I did just see a few questions here in the chat, so I will, in the follow-up email, I'll send the meeting schedule, because there are a few, and it's related to school vacations where the third Thursday of the month doesn't work, or we'd be coming right back after a big vacation or something like that. There's not time for the youth leaders to do any planning, so I'll send those dates out. And I will also include the information about becoming a VSP parent with Michigan State Extension.
Although that is, I believe, closed for access right now, and it opens up September 15th. So you might not find all the information, but we can help answer questions in the meantime.
And then there was a question about kids being organized by age group. We do,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Depends
in
on
a
the
way,
week.
it's good to, our older kids, it's really good to have some mixed age group during certain activities. So it varies on how we group the kids. Yeah, hand raised. Jessica, I see you there.
Thank you. I have two kids, 8 and 10. I be able to bring and enroll both of them, or do we need to have two supervisors?
Nope, one parent covers all kids, family.
Excellent.
More the merrier, but you can get by with one.
Yeah, and certainly for that type of supervision, if you have a friend who's also bringing their kids to the meeting and one has to watch I mean, we just need a responsible adult for every child. So. Cool.
What other questions? There's no questions. You explained it really well.
Either good or bad.
We did.
I'm
curious, are there any camp friends out there who are just looking for some more farm time? There's a question that came in.
Sarah. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Sarah Baker.
Okay, there you go.
Go ahead, Sarah. Maybe you should just click the button. Okay, well, while we wait, Sarah, feel free to interrupt me. The question came in, do you pay the ag fee for each child? And the answer is yes, it's for each child. Kind of like a booster fee.
That would have been good.
That's
yes,
the word you wanted, booster fee. There's a pay to play and then there's a booster fee, like if you're thinking about a comparable to school programs.
Yeah, as a 4-H club, we do try to carry our own, you know, spend the money on the events that we do and that kind of stuff, but there's just certain things that are so rolled into the district's operation of the farm that we can't really directly reimburse for every little thing that happens on the farm. So that is a really good way that the district has to.
It's truly a unique situation. We're the only ones.
I have a quick question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, just real quick. If you're a member of the farm and then you join 4-H, do you still purchase a membership every year, or does 4-H become a membership?
No, that's a great question. And it's what's called a volunteer membership. So your monthly or your yearly membership fee to be a club or a farm member is reduced because you're a 4-H member, with the intent that you'll be a member in good standing and participate in volunteer work and be part of the global or the farm-wide experiences. So you're still expected to become a member of the farm, but it's at a reduced rate.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.
There are some hidden benefits. Every once in a while, the farm will have an event that kind of sells out or whatever, but they always need 4-H volunteers to come anyways. So So that's just,
Sometimes the farm offers up opportunities for 4-H kids to come to something that's called Lamb Watch or Kid Watch, which is when the babies are born. And in past years, there's been a sleepover at the farm. It really just depends on the birthing season and the health of the animals. It's the #1 priority, but anytime there's an experience we can share forth. We can't give it to the whole community, but we can give it to the 4-H community on a sign-up basis. So it's those special little inside knowledges is being part of the 4-H club is pretty special.
all right. Well, any other questions? Oh, here we go.
How often can our children come to the farm with a leader on site to guide through chores? That's a great question. So chores are on a sign-up basis. We try to have spaces for more veteran folks who can guide those who are still learning about how chores work. And there's sign-up spaces for that. For the first 3 or 4 months, we really encourage you to come at least once a week. If there's not space, every other week. As you know, like 100 different youth are enrolled in the club potentially, and then there's only so many chores to do. It doesn't take that long some days. So we try to share it out as much as possible, but once summer starts, 4-H kids drop off, summer camps happening, so then there's more opportunities in the summer. So it's not every day, but it's a lot of days when it's 4-H specific. So it's just Wednesday evenings starting at 4 till about 6. And Thursday evening, same time, and then Saturday mornings, 10 or 9 to 11 or so. And that's layered in during open barn intentionally. So for visitors who come to the farm to see open barn happening, they'll see the 4-H kids working. In fact, you may have seen some of our 4-H volunteers taking care of the animals on Saturday mornings and wondered, how can I be part of that? But then there's other ways to volunteer, like we mentioned as well, where you can be here more, and that's during any of the open barn times. And through training, you'll learn how to be a steward of that space and guide our visitors.
And we'll spend some significant time at our first club meeting in September, going through what are the chore stations, what's expected at each station, some introductory, how do you deal with this animal, or what are the things to look out for with this other animal. So we'll definitely give ample opportunity so that everyone is for sure safe while they're doing chores. But then the animals rely on us. So if we forget to do one of the things they need, they're thirsty or hungry until the next day. So
that's not okay. So we do our best to cover all that, but we'll teach you and guide you, and the older youth are excellent mentors for this. Jessica.
Where do you sign up for the chores? Is that also found online?
After the first meeting, we'll share all those information because you need to go through a certain process and be trained in order to have access to that chore sign up. So you won't find it online.
Okay. And one other question. Sorry.
If you're gonna lease an animal, would you have to take them home, or are they still gonna stay at the farm?
So they have to stay at the farm because of the type of communities we live in. We're not allowed to have livestock in our backyards, although that would be really, really cool. So they stay at the farm. The farm still owns them, and then there's a lease agreement, but you have to get a year under your belt, be an active member, attend all the meetings so you can learn as much as you can, participate in the progress showdown. There's lots of layers before you can reach that goal, but if it's your goal, we'll help you get there. Does that answer your question? Of course, you can always email the club if you have questions. bowersfarm4h@gmail.com. And that goes to a couple different folks who are watching it.
all right, anybody else?
All right.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Again, tomorrow we're going to get everything sent out. So slide deck, this recording, some links I promised. And of course, if you have any questions, just reply to that bowersfarm4h@gmail.com, the address that you're getting a message from me from. And yeah, thanks again for coming.
Yeah, hope to see you around the farm soon.